3. Hit it.
Welcome to Chicks Outside the Box. I'm Kesi. I don't do this show alone. My fellow host, Nneka, and our producer, Ronnie B, join me each week. Good evening, team.
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Good evening.
Hey. This week we have an awesome guest, Baba Kenya, the founder of the Children of Adam Band. Please join me in welcoming Baba to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. We're more than grateful to participate in this program.
Awesome to have you. As a special treat, we are featuring a couple of tracks from the Children of Adam Band on Good Vibrations. Will the chicks feel the vibe or give it a short circuit? Before we start our interview with Baba, I'm turning the mic over to Ronnie B for words of wellness.
Thank you. Wow. This is so perfect, especially given our guests. This is just perfect. Let life get to you. Let life's wonder and beauty draw you in. Let life's mystery and possibilities excite you. Let life's challenges generate fresh enthusiasm within you. Let life's goodness inspire you. Let life get to you in a way that is positive and energizing. Whatever the moment offers, let the brilliance, the love, the hope shine through. Draw new strength from each experience. Find new respect, understanding, and compassion with every encounter. Whether the day is stormy or sunny or somewhere in between, you have good things to do with it. Be motivated by what you see, what you feel, what you know, to give your best. Open yourself anew to the wondrous experience of being alive. Let life get to you in a way that invigorates you into giving your best. Has being careful turned into avoid any risk? Faith in action is a risk that opens the door to all that is possible. Wow. I'm looking at circumstances over the last couple of weeks, and I can see where I've been avoiding life getting to me. And when I say avoiding that, letting life touch my heart, because I have responsibility, things that I need to handle. So I can see that's part of allowing life to get me, to let life touch my heart. All right, over to Nneka for our opening interview with Baba Kenya.
Woo! We are ready today. All right. Thank you, Baba, for being our guest tonight. We are going to learn a little bit about Baba and a challenge he faced in well-being that could have knocked him out of the game. Somehow, some way, he made it through. His cheerful spirit is an inspiration. There are different aspects of well-being our guests help us see what is hidden from our current world that can make a difference. Our physical, mental, spiritual, or even financial well-being impacts our world and our ability to manifest our highest good. Let's get started. Baba, can you please share a time when you faced a challenge in well-being and the impact it was having on your career or your life in general?
Well, if I may refer to the current situation regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, as you well know, it brought the world to a complete screeching halt. Mm-hmm. And especially the trauma was felt very deeply within the performance artist community because of the circumstances of not having venues that would be open to perform in and audiences to fill those venues as well. And also the safety issues regarding attempting to mitigate the virus and avoid contagion and further infection. So We, the Children of Adam Band, had begun our 2020 tour project.
Mm-hmm.
We did our first performance in 2020 in the month of February. Actually, it was the Valentine's Day weekend. And we performed at George Mason University in Virginia. And we also performed at the Pennsylvania Museum, the Pennsylvania State Museum. So it would be roughly about a month later that we would be struck with the March 11th shutdown of the city of Philadelphia in attempts to comply with the COVID-19 protocol. That put us in a stymie because we had already booked the performance in April at the International Spring Festival. We were the opening act for that, as well as other performances in various cities and states throughout the United States during the rest of the year 2020. So we had to come to some decisions of how to manage things. How are we going to circumvent the protocol of COVID-19 in a safe manner and do so without bringing any risk or harm to any of the musicians involved or any of the other technical personnel? And we had also the issue before us of how to go about researching the various contact media, such as Facebook, video, chat, and also Zoom, in an effort to try to determine if we could actually rehearse using Zoom or using the Facebook video chat. Well, unfortunately, both those platforms don't actually transmit in real time. So one musician playing would not hear the other musician playing in the same rhythmic timing as him. There would be a lag.
Oh, wow.
So what we decided to do was to go outdoors and gather at a site that we selected that had all the appropriate requirements that we needed. We were actually in an underground garage structure. And that provided a roof over our heads, number one, to keep the inclement weather away. It also had a dry surface for us to be able to work on. I stationed all my musicians 20 feet apart. I didn't go by the 6-foot regimen required by the CDC. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we were all 20 feet apart. Each microphone had a disposable microphone cover over it. It's sort of like a chef's cap with the elastic band, so that only specific personnel were assigned to use certain microphones. We used battery-operated amplifiers because we didn't have access to electricity. And we were able to proceed on from there and rehearse from July all the way through October outdoors and be able to record our basic soundtracks for the new CD that we're planning on recording this year called Timbuktu, The Human Journey. So this is one example. There are many others, but I'll leave you with that one to give other musicians an idea as to how they can proceed on in spite of the obstacles. Many musicians in the Philadelphia and New Jersey area, I should say the tri-state area, including Delaware as well, are involved in the circuit of performing for bridal showers and proms and bar mitzvahs, the casinos and all that. And all these places had shut down. So these musicians were out of work. They weren't able to earn any income. And they weren't able to gather together and rehearse. But we were able to be successful at doing that. We were able to rehearse and also be able to proceed further with developing and improving the music that we have for the upcoming Timbuktu, The Human Journey CD.
Nice. So was there anything to your own personal well-being that you felt like that was being challenged?
Well, I'm the big daddy of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, we're talking about managing 14 personnel. There are 14 members in the band. Mm-hmm. And having to contend with the various issues that they bring to the table that can possibly create hardship and duress and problems that have to be resolved in order for us to step on and continue forward. I have a saying, I believe in Murphy's Law, and that is the concept that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Mm-hmm. So you have to be flexible. You have to be prepared for that. And in our case, it's Murphy's Law times 14. So we manage, and I'm able to accept the reality that people can only be responsible for what they're capable of doing, and not necessarily always what you would like them to do.
Right. Okay. So would you say that, how did that impact? I know that you're taking care of 14 people, so that's a lot, right? As the big daddy of it. But, personally, what did you identify as the actual thing that, besides being responsible for these people, was there anything that you felt like, I know I can't let these people down, right? Was there anything else that you felt was really, challenging in terms of trying to move forward and do this in terms of your own, household or?
Well, I'm a firm believer in God, and the idea that God has a plan, and if you are a part of His plan, then you have no need for fear or apprehension about being unsuccessful in your efforts. And when we won the 2019 Top World Music Band for Philadelphia Live Center Stage, that was the opening remark I gave to the audience there of young and upcoming musicians and performance artists. They brought us up on stage. We were the first group to go up and gave us this wonderful, very large, quality-laden certificate from the city of Philadelphia, a citation, recognizing us as the 2019 Top World Music Band.
Awesome.
And my immediate message was to the young people in the audience was, you have to have faith. You have to have faith in yourself and believe in yourself to be able to accomplish things. And you have to also realize that you have to take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way, because these opportunities are free. These are gifts from God. And if God calls you on the phone, you need to pick up that phone and answer that call, because you never know what it holds for you with regards to your well-being, your progress, and your future.
Okay. So I hear you, and I understand, the context of what you're saying. So I kind of let me get into the next bit of this and ask a little bit more. So during the time when we were, dealing with challenges, or we're dealing with challenges, do you feel like you made, anyone wrong for what was happening and with the circumstances, or, for what was going on, or the challenges that you were facing and trying to, get what you needed to happen across?
When you say did I feel wrong?
No, did you make anyone wrong for that? Was there anything that you were like, you know what, this is just horrible?
You mean
that
blameworthy? You mean?
Yes, blameworthy.
No. We were all under financial duress. We're all under the complications and complexities of daily life. We are in a world where everyone has to rethink how to do what they used to normally do before they do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So that requires a certain level of ingenuity, a certain level of thinking outside of the box, outside of the norm.
Yes, sir.
And you have to select or choose the best possible course of action that is available, and not necessarily resign yourself to just remaining stagnant and non-productive and just, fatalistic, giving up hope.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Yes. I love how you phrase that, thinking outside, because that's exactly what I was writing, thinking outside the box. So that's amazing. You didn't see it as a challenge. You saw it as an opportunity to do something different.
Of course.
And ran with it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what you have to do.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
even in the scenario where we didn't have electricity,
right,
in the garage, the underground garage, we had all the other elements that we needed. We had the roof over our head. Mm-hmm. We had the partial seclusion of the area. I mean, there was airflow, adequate airflow. We weren't disturbed by anyone. All of my people were using PPE. They arrived in their cars with their masks and gloves on, and I took their temperature with a contactless temperature gun before they exited the vehicle.
Yeah.
And, sent them over to their appropriate stage location.
Right.
So everything was very highly organized, and they felt comfortable with that. When people feel comfortable, they can produce or give to you the best of what they have to offer.
Right. So I hear your positive energy, and I hear how you just restructured and said, we're going to work with what we have. But like, how do you really just kind of look at it and be like, I can't blame anyone else? What are you able to invoke within yourself to stop and not blame anyone else for what's happening?
Well, again, I take an approach that I try not to ask someone to do something that I myself personally cannot do.
Okay.
And when I say that, I try not to put a burden on another person that is far greater than they are capable of bearing. As an example, we have a wide range of age groups among the members
mm-hmm.
of the band. Some of our members are as old as 74, 75 years of age. Mm-hmm. And they have, technical difficulties with learning how to utilize, modern day equipment. I mean, back in the day when we had VCRs, they had the grandkids come and program the VCR for them so they could watch movies and that kind of thing. I mean, you get the idea of what their development is, but, they needed and they wanted to learn how to become computer tech savvy because of the way things are done in the modern age. Some of them didn't have email accounts. Some of them didn't have Facebook accounts, but they learned to understand that you need to do this so you can communicate with everybody else in the band and also communicate with the outside world.
Absolutely.
And so they became comfortable with it, and they came on board. And we've only got one guy who is only with an email and texting, 1 out of 14. And that's not a bad ratio at all.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You had to think outside the box. And, when did you see hope and possibility, in the situation with the actions that you had to take? When did you be like, okay, this is going to work out.
I always
Okay.
am in that mode when I open my eyes and put my feet on the floor, getting out of the bed. As long as I have the ability to breathe and the ability to open my eyes and see, and I can hear, and I can stand up on my own volition and take a step and move forward and complete the various things that are required of me, I have no problems.
Thank you.
And I'm extremely grateful for that.
Wow. I thank you for sharing that, because it definitely resonates, you know, when you are experiencing a challenge or something difficult changing, and having that grounding feeling. You know, when you said I put my feet on the ground, and, you know, as long as I can do that and I have breath, I'm going to work with what I've got. I love that. And I think something that is very needed to hear. For listeners and for just anyone struggling with trying to move forward in a very difficult situation. And, you know, just being blessed enough and insightful enough to know that I'm covered. He's got me to keep walking and moving forward to do this. That's an amazing, amazing, amazing aspect. I loved how you answered these questions. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That really was nice. Very, very, very helpful for me.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you. Wow. I don't know if I can keep saying thank you for sharing again, but we will learn more about Baba Kenya later in the show. Right now, it is time for the good part, the good vibrations with Ronnie B.
Wow, I was hanging on every word. And Brother Kenya, my father always said it's a good day if you're above ground.
Yes, indeed.
And everything else is, you may have faith, but everything else is speculative.
Yes.
All right, on Good Vibrations, we feature new music and vote whether the track has good vibrations or if it needs to be short-circuited. Now, we've never had to short-circuit a guest, but, you know, life can occur. We you know, they ain't Simon Cowell and Randy Jackson. They rough ladies, man. I'm going to tell you, they rough. They rough. The Island girls, they rough, you know. Iberia in the house. Today, we're featuring music from our guests, Baba Kenya and the Children of Adam Band. Now, this first track we're going to hear is Come Together. DJ, let's come together.
closer to the Lord. Save me from the darkness and help me stand to fight. Together we must come together as one. I call to you, we call to you. We must come together as the time is now or never. There's no time left to lose. Hold on to those you cherish and bring them close to you. Closer and closer with every beat of my heart. And every breath I take, each step brings me closer, closer and closer. On destiny I wait. Together we must come together. I call to you, we call to you. We must come together. Closer to the Lord and save me from the darkness. Lord, help me stand to fight. Together we must come together. I call to you, we call to you.
right. That was Come Together. So we had to see what the, it had a little kicker there. Snuck that in on us. So, but let's see what the panel has to say.
Yes.
Kesi, does Come Together have good vibes, or is it getting short-circuited?
No, man. Good vibes. Good vibes. Love the instruments.
All right. Well, so far, Brother Kenya, you're doing good, but you know how it can go. Nneka, what do you say?
That's absolutely good vibes. We were sitting here just grooving the whole time. The horns, listening, going, man. That's some intentional, motivational, relaxing music. Very nice.
All right. Hey. Well, I got to give it a thumbs up. And Brother Kenya, look, I am proud that we will play a track that's more than 3 minutes long. All right, we pocketed it. Now, and I also be honest that if at 3 minutes it was garbage, we would have short circuited. I have listened to it to the end. Now, can you please share something about the creation of Come Together that surprised you? I mean, you created a lot of music over your career. Was there anything that surprised you about creating Come Together?
Well, I guess inspiration comes to each one of us in varied forms, and different forms also. And for me, a song usually hits me in segments, and during the course of maybe a 24-hour period of time, it gels and completes itself from beginning to end, giving the basic structure, concept, format, lyrics, everything. I can hear a virtual orchestra in my head, with all the nuances of instruments playing and even the various harmonies and parts of the vocals, because in our case, we're a band that doesn't have or feature a lead vocalist. We sing parts. So that gives everybody some input into the flavoring of the sound and its context. So I hate to say it, but I kind of sidetracked myself.
Sometimes, but so we were looking at something that specifically in creating Come Together that kind of surprised you. Given, like I said, you've been around. It ain't like that things just kind of you kind of got experience there. So we just wondering, was there anything?
We're not being duplicitous. We're not duplicating the wheel or duplicating what other people have done. We don't do covers. We only do our own original material. We don't do accompaniment. So everything that we do comes from the heart. And in the case of Come Together, I wish you could see the actual live video performance, because our songs contain English language and dialect. And out of the 8 songs that we have on the Bilal CD, our first CD, I believe that 3/4 of them contain foreign language. Out of the 15 plus that we have for our new CD called Timbuktu, at least 9 of those songs have English language and foreign language content. So our music is global. Our lyrics speak to the world, and there will be people in the audiences who will be surprised. They'll hear something being said in their own language, and they feel honored.
Wow.
that they've been included in the discussion. So that's a great aspect of it.
Okay. Well, the ladies are going, hey, we want to get back to the interview. But before we do, members of the band, who are they? Anybody you want to, share some love, or you better mention their name, or you're gonna be in trouble after the interview?
Yeah, of course. I can't. We can't do what we do without the inclusion and the contributions of these various people. And when I say the band is 14 personnel, we started out in April of 2018. So the band is just shy of 3 years old now. Mm-hmm. And, we've had, our share of those who have come in and out of our door, but those who have remained steadfast with us and helped us to grow are people like Muhammad Ali Kemp on guitar, myself on flugelhorn and vocals, and Kren and kalimba and percussions. We have Bob Kunga on vocals, congas, and percussions. Bob Kunga formerly performed with the sax man, Grover Washington Jr. We've got Bruce Abrams on guitar. Daniel Theodore Harris on vocals. He's got that primary vocal in that song, Come Together, that moan that you hear in the intro. Donald Williams is on sax. Donald has played with virtually everyone. Jackie Lee on vocals and percussions. Johnny Walker is from Lionel Hampton's big band. He was a lead trumpeter with Lionel Hampton for decades. He plays trumpet and percussions. Jabril Abdul-Jalil, vocals and congas. Leon Schley on digital drums. Sandys Davis, our African percussionist on djembe and various African percussions. Stan Fleming on vocals and percussions. Sultana Arifa, who is not only a vocalist, but she is our Tanura dancer in our opening show when we perform our very first song, Kalima. She is the whirling dervish dancer that you see come out in the multicolored costume that creates all the various beauteous optical illusions while she dances. Also, we have Tyrone Richards on bass guitar. We recently added in another performer. He is part of the Timbuktu production, and he performs as a Dogon Waru masked dancer. And all of our costuming that we use and present and artifacts in our productions are authentic. So he is our featured dancer in the same way that Sultana is our Tanura dancer for the song Kalima. Tafari Noble's L is the mass dancer for the song Kanaku Musa, which is part of the Timbuktu, The Human Journey CD.
All right. Great. We just, we love it when a group comes together. Okay. Now, thank you. I've taken up some of Kesi's time, and she has a few more questions. And just one thing about the Chicks Outside, they have a stand for well-being, and and we learn so much about how others are dealing with their well-being in the face of challenges and what's going on, that it makes a difference, because sometimes that cross can feel a little heavy to bear. Mm-hmm. So with that said, over to you, Kesi.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it, Ronnie. Baba, we really appreciate you being on the show again. I can't wait for this interview. Are you ready?
Oh, I can't wait to see it myself.
All right. So for this segment of the show, we're asking you to share your experience of people managing or not managing their well-being as a professional entrepreneur or entertainer. All right. So I want you to think of or tell me one or two opportunities that you're taking advantage of currently during this challenging time.
Well, I think
I'm going to interject for 1 second, okay?
Yes.
Okay, because before we get into opportunities, what are one or two challenges to your well-being you're keeping an eye on? And can you share the impact and the actions that you're taking?
The challenges.
What's one or two challenges that you got to keep on top of?
Well, naturally, there is the mitigation and social distancing issue regarding the COVID-19 virus. COVID-19 is an indiscriminate, merciless killer that ravages the bodies of even the surviving victims. And myself, I look at the reality that some of its victims that have survived have difficult respiratory problems. They have memory loss. They have ambulatory issues or problems. And me being who I am as a human being and as a musician, I'm an artist also, a visual artist. I paint, illustrate, I author children's books and other materials and do lectures and these kinds of things. So my mental alertness is a key aspect of my identity, who I am. My ability to use my lung power, because when we learn to play wind instruments, which is what flugelhorn is, in junior high school, we learned how to do controlled breathing. I even learned how to do circular breathing. Circular breathing is that little trick that Kenny G used to do when he would start his performance. He'd play one note, and the note would last for like 30 minutes without breaking, and the audience was amazed. Well, bands like Kool and the Gang, their sax and trumpet members were doing that, decades before Kenny G was even born. So I didn't mean to digress there, but my health and well-being is tantamount, because everything pretty much relies on me to be able to get it done. So I hope in that I've answered your question.
Yep, it sure did. It sure did. Thank you so much for answering that question. And Ronnie, thank you for, getting him to speak about some challenges. Sounds awesome. So when it comes to managing your well-being, what sacrifices have you seen others?
I'm going to interject on you one more time, okay? We just want to be clear for the listeners. Now, one of the challenges you said you face that you're dealing with is your lungs. And part of what you're doing is you have these exercises, and I was like, Kenny G can hold a note for 30 minutes? Brother Kenyon, was that correct?
Well, you were asking my response to that statement?
Well, yeah, right. Like I just want to make sure, because one of the things you said as far as that you're keeping your eye on is your lungs.
Yes, of course.
Right. And that one part of what you do is that one of the actions you take is that you actually have exercise.
Oh, of course. Yes. Those plastic units they give you in the hospital to test your lung power, to see how high you can raise the centerpiece, and it has gradations on it. Yeah. I test myself almost virtually daily with those, to make sure that I've still got the lung power. I mean, I'm not going to brag, but I'm 68 going on 69. And I know a number of...
I thought that you were 18 going on 22.
Well, that's what I used to say. But with the gray, I can't hide it anymore. So, but so I'm always doing exercises daily to check the quantity and quality of my respiratory system, because that's critical to me. I've got to be able to sing, got to be able to talk, I've got to be able to play my various wind instruments, and I play a number of wind instruments, but it's something that you have to learn to manage and discipline yourself for. So, not wanting to go that far into the issue of health, but I'm asthmatic. So, and a lot of wind instrument players are asthmatic, but they have asthma, to varying degrees. Mine is controlled. If I've never had an asthma attack while I've been playing, but I always have the Ventolin, the aerosol nearby, just in case, I feel any kind of shortness of breath or any kind of residual activity. But you imagine someone who's asthmatic, playing a wind instrument. That's
right.
that's like your greatest nemesis. Where's all your life-giving breath going? It's going into that instrument to make a sound.
So, I'm sorry to cut you. What kind of exercises do you do?
Well, I do timing exercises to see how long I can hold my breath. I basically pull out the cell phone and go to the toolbox and go to the stopwatch and get it set and, start it, take a deep breath for 10 seconds as far as I can and hold it for as long as I can. And then expel it out, and most of the time I do that, I'm seated, but there are other times that I do it and I walk around, because you're burning calories, you're using energy with movement, and, it helps with regards to supporting the training of the lungs for the work that has to be done.
Really quick, I had someone tell me just last week, in order to improve my lung capacity, to basically take a deep breath in, hold it, and then while holding that breath, breathe in again to hold it again. And I never realized that my lungs can only hold but this much. So when I took that breath in, to even take another breath on top of it was really hard. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine being asthmatic trying to do that. But I never knew that was an exercise before last week, before they told me to do that, which was really interesting. So now I've been working on it. So it's interesting that you said that you have asthma and that, you have to work on it, these wind instruments.
Yeah. But I get the job done.
You get the job done. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. So when it comes on to managing well-being, right? What sacrifices have you seen others make that may have been misguided or not well thought out?
That's an interesting scenario. And it brings up a horror story.
Ooh.
And I would just simply phrase it this way. There are times when people think and believe that what they're doing is good and contributing to accomplishing the workload that we want to accomplish, but they kind of errantly step into the lane of another person. And in doing so, they create unintended misunderstanding or unintended confusion. And, we're all human. So, we can make a statement or a comment and intend it to be one way, but the recipient of that statement or that comment views it a different way. So for that reason, I don't know if you've noticed throughout the interview, but I'm very particular about choosing what I say.
Very intentional.
Yep.
Yes.
We've definitely noticed that.
Yeah. Okay. Because, the old saying is, what comes out of the mouth is difficult to take back and put back into the mouth. In essence, to retract it, because the sting, the stench, the mark is still left on the aggrieved party. And we must never be so far beyond ourselves that we can't, apologize to someone and resolve our differences or issues. Case in point, I recall one time I went to a store, a Home Depot store, and this was earlier on during the COVID-19 pandemic. People are waiting outside in lines, and everybody's social distancing, pretty much 6 feet apart. And a man came up behind me with his daughter. The child was maybe 11 years old, but the child wasn't wearing a face mask. And the child began to, like most kids do, move around, and, she's pretty active, and she starts, coming into my personal space. So I, very politely said, sweetheart, you have to stay back there with your daddy, and she moved back towards him, and that was it. But once we got in the store, to my surprise, lo and behold, he approached me. And he told me that, sir, I understand and respect the fact that you're social distancing, but you had no right to say what you said to my child. So I, looked at it and I said, well, you're the parent. And if I offended you as the parent by saying what I said to your daughter, then I apologize. There was no harm intended, in what I said. And, I offer my apology to you. And he accepted it graciously, and he went on his way. So we have to learn how to diplomatically handle scenarios or situations and diffuse what could possibly be, a potential catastrophe if people began to act out with regards to what is being said.
Right. And to your point about being mindful about what you share, sometimes things that come out, you're putting that energy out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to because you have a different intention for where you see yourself going. So sometimes I find that if you put those words out, or if you even call things down on yourself, then you're attracting what you're speaking into the universe then.
That's
so
true.
I hear you when you say you're very intentional about what you say. But I have a question for you. I know you're in a very challenging business, a very challenging musician life is, or to be a musician is very challenging. When it comes to your well-being, like just keeping sane, keeping it together, where do you draw the line? Like, when is enough enough? Where do you draw the line? Where is that line for you?
Well, I'm a firm believer in the concept that God never places a burden on anyone that is greater than they are capable of bearing.
Thank you.
So although it may appear to be extremely difficult
Thank you.
at times, if you have the patience and the forbearance to weather it, then you're able to come through and overcome it. It's kind of funny. I was a police officer for about 18 years. And I used to go on domestic calls or calls that involve some type of strife or struggle between various people. And I could always diffuse them by simply talking to the parties involved. And other people used to ask me, like, how are you able to do this? And I always believe that, again, that, if you have the patience and the forbearance to just wait a moment longer, a minute longer, 10 minutes longer, 30 minutes longer, you can come through a potentially disastrous scenario and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I'm going to send you my bill, right?
Right? I have a question. I'm like, me next.
You're going to have to change my moniker to Guru Kenya. Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of scenarios in my life where I had to be the party that would help to diffuse the circumstances and the situation. You have to learn to realize that everybody has a story, and all human beings want to be heard. They want their story to be told so that their side or their view of a situation or scenario is made plain, is offered. It's like a vindication.
Right.
So you have to learn to listen. Just pause and listen to what the other person is saying. And it's from that capacity and involvement of listening that we learn things that are helpful in us being able to resolve differences and disarm situations and scenarios.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing, Guru. Right? I appreciate it. I thank you so much for sharing.
You're more than welcome.
It's another. We're now going to go into another segment. We're going to go into Good Vibrations with Ronnie B.
Hey, all right. Welcome back to Good Vibrations. We have another performance from the Children of Adam Band. DJ, let's hear Kalima. Please, roll it.
I got a story for you. I got a story for you too. I got a story for you. I got a story for you and you. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Not just a dream, a new revelation for all creation, far more glorious than it seems. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah.
I guess I need to check with Kesi. Good vibes or short circuit?
Good vibes. Always a good vibe.
All right. Okay. Nneka, the verdict.
Relaxing, very, very relaxing vibe.
Relaxing, huh? Well, I say good vibes, and I kind of thought it had you shaking boogie around a little bit. Thought I heard a little Santana up in there, or some Bootsy, or some Bootsy on guitar. Okay, it's time for Nneka with our weekly butt kick actions for energy empowerment. Go.
All right. So each week, I'm going to give you 4 actions to take that will empower your energy. It can take on the form of mental, spiritual, physical, or even financial energy. We cleared the space for energy to flow powerfully. We took on making bold and bodacious requests to fill the space. And so we are going to get into our butt-kicking actions for this week. And so
you can go ahead and get the responses.
Oh, I thought you didn't. I thought you wanted that deleted.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So here are a few responses from the community. Ebony from Philadelphia says, "Dear chicks, I pretend like I have a ton of issues listening to Lady, had me get real with myself. My challenges don't even compare. I simply need to get off my butt and start doing the work to have my dreams fulfilled." Nneka, your butt kick actions are perfect. Thank you. We have Mary Ann from Phoenix, Arizona. "Hi, chicks. Lady is an amazing woman. Her sharing touched my heart. I loved Ronnie B's authenticity. Her child's father is an ass and can never call himself a real man. I like how your show goes so deep. We can truly learn about the guest. It's eye-opening and refreshing. I love the show, and I can't wait for the weekly butt kick actions. I'm a business consultant. I was terrified, but I raised my rates 40% and was surprised I got 3 new clients. I am blown away. May you chicks and Ronnie B stay blessed." Well, thank you, Marianne. We can't share all the comments we read, each one. Thank you for sharing with us. Please feel free to reach out and share. We're going to continue our butt kick actions from the last show. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
Ronnie B, you ready over there for some butt kick actions?
Get butt kicking. And Kesi, Nneka, I think y'all are muted.
Huh.
Okay, can you start off with those butt kick actions? The technology messed up on us.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. We are going to continue our butt kick actions from the last show. Are you ready? Now that you've cleared the space and you have to act or it will fill with clutter. Nature abhors a vacuum. You have created a vacuum you can fill with empowerment. Making bold, bodacious requests and promises of yourself and others fills that space with power. The butt kick actions for energy empowerment are: action number 1. If you are an employee, request a raise that would be bold and bodacious. Write down any conversations you have with yourselves to talk yourself out of making the request. If you own your own business or are self-employed, give yourself a 25% raise or raise your rates 25%. Write down any conversations you have with yourself to talk you out of raising your rates. So that action is actually a very bold action to do, because like she you're fearful that if you raise your rate, you won't get anyone to buy into the increased rates. And so I think having someone from the community share that they did it and it was impactful really kind of is helpful to kind of resonate that, you know what, I can be bold. I can step out and do something outside of my comfort zone, and challenge, someone to understand that, hey, I'm worth it. You don't go to Neiman Marcus and pay $5 for something. You're going because you feel like you're getting quality. So I know I'm quality. I'm providing quality services. So that's definitely something that within my own business, I definitely have to work on, feeling comfortable doing that and charging more for my services rather than just giving them away, as I usually do. I do give services for free because I love what I do. So it's hard to, really say, well, now you owe me $150, but it's definitely something that I have to, because my time is valuable and it's something I have to work on. So yeah, I think that I like the fact that, the community responded and gave some positive reviews on that. So, all right, let's get into action number 2. Make a list of 10 actions you promise to take this week that will further your career, business, or well-being. After creating the list, share those promises with at least 3 people who will not make it okay if you are not on your word. So, I think I just kind of committed myself to something.
Mm-hmm. Well, 10 actions. We have 10 actions.
Yeah, but I just also committed myself because I said, I'm going to do this. So here we go. So I have to really sit down and do this because I just said I need to increase my rates. Okay. So I'm going to find my 3 people. I do actually have 3 people that I could do. And I think these 10 actions really makes you become more mindful and accountable to what it is you say you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. So it's that accountability.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's putting steps in place. So it's not just saying you're going to do something. I'm now taking the action. I'm putting steps in place. So putting the steps in place helps you achieve a goal. With those steps, you don't get up to the second floor.
Mm-hmm. All right. I
like
that.
Yeah. So I think this is definitely an action that is going to be, good for you to do and put in place. All right. Let's move on to action number 3. Make a list of 3 things you wish your spouse, significant other, or someone you have a significant relationship would do or stop doing. Request they honor your wish. Write down any conversations you have with yourself to talk you out of making the request. So relationships are about, bonding and building those bonds and building positive communication. And I think this could be seen as a way of creating tension or negative communication. But I think sometimes when you address things in a patient and calm manner, I'm learning from the guru, that it helps you to build communication in a positive way. This doesn't have to turn into a negative thing. Mm-hmm. It's something that we need a change or a shift. How can we make this into a positive request? And I like the fact that it says, that you're saying request that they honor your wish. So you're not demanding, you're not insisting, you're not giving stipulations or, putting anything. We can't go there, but you can't put any stipulations on what's happening. You're just asking, making a request and saying, this is something that I would like to see differently. And I think writing down the conversation kind of makes you look back and say, this is something I can do. It's going to be okay. And it gives you that time to pause and think and wait and have that appropriate conversation. So nice. Okay, Guru, I'm getting into this. Okay, action 4. We're going to make a list of 3 people or organizations that could make a difference for your business or well-being. Next to each name, write a bold or bodacious request that would make a difference in fulfilling your desires. Contact each person or organization and make the bold or bodacious request. And again, write down any conversations you have with yourself that try to talk you out of making these requests. So when you're doing this action, make sure that you are having the confidence to be bold. But writing it down stops you from withdrawing and kind of saying, no, I'm not really worth it. It's okay. They won't see me for, what I am. I'll just keep going and doing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you demand something different of someone, or not demand, but request it, or they will either live up to that and do what you're asking them to do, or they're not. So we have to be bold in what we're doing.
I'm just going to interject one quick thing. The not asking is the poison.
Where's that?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
You said that. Yeah.
The not asking is the poison.
You mean not
the not asking, the not making the request is what poisons your relationship. See, you can deal with no because you go, hey, look, well, okay, no, you don't want to do that. But it's the and you've never made the request. It poisons the relationship. The other really quick thing is that notice that the conversations that you're writing down, that you use to talk yourself out of things, are the same ones regardless of the actions. You see a common theme. You say these same things all the time. So that's it. Let me let you turn this back over.
Okay. So let's see. Our entire team is doing this work, as Ronnie just chipped in and said, that's the poison. We will share our results on the next episode, so come back. Right now, it's time for Kesi with the finale. Over to you, Kesi.
Thanks, Nneka. And thanks, Ronnie. And thanks, our guru, Kenya.
Yes.
It's time for the finale. Baba, I have one final question for you. If you had a magic wand and you could change one thing for the better, what would that one thing be?
Changing one thing for the better?
One thing for the better.
I would have to say that thing would be to make it so that COVID-19 pandemic never came into existence.
I agree. Thank you so much for being on our show again. Please share how our listeners can stay in touch with you, how they can follow with the Children of Adam Band, and how they can keep up to date. And also give a shout out to everyone.
Well, you can follow us on our social media. childrenofadamband.com is our website. And we're also on Facebook as Children of Adam Band. Instagram, Children of Adam Band. As far as a shout out would go, I have to, again, give credit and recognition to all of the band members. Muhammad Ali Kemp on guitar, myself on flugelhorn and vocals, Bob Kungo on vocals and percussions, Bruce Abrams on guitar, Daniel Theodore Harris on vocals and keyboards, Donald Williams on sax, Jackie Lee on vocals and percussions, Johnny Walker on trumpet percussions, Jabril Abdul-Jalil, vocals and congas, Leon Schley, digital drum, Sandees Davis on djembe and African percussion, Stan Fenning on vocals and percussions, and Sultana Arifa on vocals, Tanura dancer and percussions, Tyrone Richards on bass guitar, and last but not least, our newcomer, Tafari Nobles L, who is our mass dancer for the production Timbuktu, The Human Journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. Nneka, over to you.
Woo! Well, this has been very, very insightful and very, rewarding to actually meet you and get a chance to interview you. This has been so good. I thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. So with that, with the guru, this is my statement that I'm going to add in. If we look at challenges from outside the box, they are opportunities for us to do and experience something new. If what we thought to be true turned out not to be true, when would you want to know? Chicks outside the box. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for inviting.